morning, family. I want to talk black on black crime. I'm sick of hearing about black on black crime in relation to police brutality. Yes, we have a problem in our community, but that is a problem to be dealt with within our community. You remember when you were growing up and your mama told you what happens in my house stays in my house? You don't discuss what happens in your house with motherfuckers outside your household. Bringing up black on black crime. White people, they gonna do anything they can to deflect the fact that this is their people that's doing this. So it's expected for them to bring up the black on black crime in our community. But that's not what we should be doing. This is a time for us to unify and come together and stop what they've been doing for centuries now. Y'all, slavery started in the 1600s. It's 2020. A lot of people seem to be confused on what emancipation is. Emancipation is not freedom, it's conditional freedom. You are conditionally free until you commit a crime, and then you are a slave of the state. Alright? So we are not free. We need to come together and discuss our freedom. And how we're going to break free from the chains of slavery that they still have us in, from the discrimination, the police brutality, the racism. We need to break free, but it's going to take unity. So that goes back to what I'm saying about black on black crime and what I was saying about not discussing your household with motherfuckers outside your household. These white people, they're not equal with us. When we talking about police brutality, that is the topic. Not black on black crime. A motherfucker can't convince me that because there are black people that kill other black people, that black people as a whole don't love each other, and that justifies what the police are doing to us. No, not the case. Here's another analogy. And when I first decided that I was going to do this video, this is the analogy that popped in my head immediately when I thought about how am I going to break it down to these people that even though black on black crime is black people committing crime against other black people, it's still not our fault. We didn't do this to ourselves. So the analogy I wanted to bring to you guys today is the crabs in the barrel analogy. People like to compare niggas to crabs in a barrel. They like to say that that's why we can't get on top, because we acting like crabs in a barrel and pulling each other back down. Crabs don't belong in barrels. Crabs belong in the ocean, free as fuck. Not in a barrel. So yeah, niggas is acting like a bunch of crabs in a barrel, pulling each other down. But that's because we don't belong in that barrel. We're supposed to be free. The barrel is the hood. The barrel is the housing projects that these people push us into by gentrifying us out of everywhere else. The barrel is these low budget ass schools that our children are forced to go to because of the zip codes that we're forced to live in. The barrel is these minimum wage jobs that don't even pay your minimum living expenses. The barrel is religion. The barrel is compliance. We've been thrown into a barrel and then we get judged for wanting to get out that motherfucker. After slavery, our people came up. See, they teach you what they want you to know in these schools and stuff. And that's why it's very important that you know your history so that you can teach your children their history. Because the history that they want you to know is their history. And the part they played in your history, not your history. We don't come from slavery. Slavery came later. We don't come from that. Christianity was not our religion. Crabs don't belong in barrels, people. So don't fault the crabs for doing any and everything they can to get themselves out of the situation that they find themselves in. They didn't just jump in the barrel. They can't climb up there. Somebody had to put them in the barrel. And then once you in there, the only thing to get you out that motherfucker is standing on the shoulders of the next motherfucker. We need to not only stand on the shoulders of the next motherfucker, but then when that motherfucker makes it out, they need to turn around and reach for somebody else. And that one turns around and reaches. And before you know it, you got a bunch of crabs at the top of the barrel helping each other to grab the ones that's still down there. Black on black crime is a direct result of how we've been forced to live. Segregation was a good thing at one point. It really was. But what happened is people started feeling the need to be equal with these beasts, with these savages, with these people who have raped, killed, kidnapped, tortured, hung our people. All of a sudden we felt the need to be equal with them. The civil rights movement was the worst thing that ever happened to our people. We don't need equality with these people. Separation is necessary for revolution. Why would you want to use the same toilet as your rapist? Why would you want to sit at the table right next to your grandfather's murderer? Why do you feel the need to work the same job as the people who once made you work for free? So the civil rights movement was our downfall. Once we felt the need to be equal with them, they did what they could to separate us, right? So you have to realize the Constitution is full of amendments, right? An amendment is just something to change a rule that's already in place. We're going to make this change to this rule, right? So all these amendments that have been made to the Constitution that don't allow for discrimination, whoop-de-whoop, blah-de-blah, all right? So when the Civil Rights Movement came about, these white people looked up and all of a sudden, niggas was owning shit. Black Wall Street. Niggas was moving in next door. Niggas was showing up at their schools. So they started doing all this little sneaky underhanded shit. The people who approve the loans for you to buy houses at the bank are white. So your loans don't get approved. Or if they do, they get approved in an area that you probably don't want to be in. But a house is a house, so you go for it, right? Everybody else was forced into low-income apartments and housing projects with limited resources. And by this, I mean limited access to jobs and necessities like food and clothing. Then you see, okay, we got them all bunched up in this little area together with limited resources. It's only natural that people start to turn on each other. What you think them savages was doing to each other in the caves? White people are naturally cannibalistic because when they were in the Caucasus Mountains with limited resources, they quite often turned on each other and fed on each other. It's in their nature. It's not in ours. I think that's the only reason why we ain't took these motherfuckers to war yet. But it's time. Instead of talking about black on black crime, let's talk about how the crabs got in the barrel in the first place. Let's fix that. Let's stop the gentrification. You can't put a set of apartments in the middle of the hood where everybody there is either on government assistance or working minimum wage jobs, and then throw a luxury apartment complex right smack dab in the middle of the hood and charge 3-4 times what the rent is everywhere else around that motherfucker, and then tell people you can't come here. And then when you move your fancy white people into these luxury apartments in the middle of the hood, develop. You talk shit when these people get attacked. You can't come over here showboating your resources and your fancy shit and then expect the people who have been struggling their whole life to not want a piece of it. Welcome to the barrel, motherfucker. So I don't want to hear about black on black crime no more. I don't. Because black on black crime is only an issue because somebody threw a bunch of crabs in the barrel. Crabs don't go in barrels. Crabs belong in the ocean. Free as fuck. Let's tear down the barrel. Open the floodgates. Put everybody on an equal footing. This pandemic has done that. I really truly believe that a lot of my people, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing a lot of people who were working 9 to 5s, who got laid off of their jobs and were fortunate enough to get unemployment, use that unemployment to come up. I've seen my friends start businesses. I've started a business. It's our time to shine, but it's not the time to turn on each other. This is the time to unify. This is the time to keep our black dollars within our black communities. We like hair and fancy shit. Black women have hair for sale. They got fancy shit for sale. Let's buy from our people instead of Gucci and Prada and fucking Nautica and whoever the fuck else you bitches find. Instead of going and buying $1 million hood surrounded by these white folks who can't stand your ass, who gonna call the laws on you and make up all kind of lies about they thought somebody was breaking in the house because they seen a nigga pull up in the driveway. That type of shit. Instead of moving into that neighborhood, buy some land. You can get way more land and get a house built from the ground up cheaper than you can get trying to move in these white folks shit. Fuck these folks. They don't give a fuck about you. Buy some land, get your house built. Everything else invested back into your community, back into your family, back into yourself. Let's not discuss black on black crime. Let's discuss where it comes from. These bitch ass white folks done put the crabs in the barrel and then talking shit for how the crabs try to get out the barrel. Let the crabs out the barrel. Crabs don't belong in barrels. They belong in the ocean. Free as fuck. So, I ain't have much for y'all today. I probably rambled more than anything. But I'm just sick of seeing all of this shit because everybody's talking about what's going on in Chicago. Chicago is a prime example of crabs in the barrel. These niggas is all out there living in the middle of the hood in fucking housing projects, limited resources. Ain't no grocery store just right down the street. Ain't no jobs just right down the street. Half of these people have been eliminated out of the whole job process through felony convictions and all kind of bogus shit by these punk ass police. They're crabs in a barrel. They did not do this. We need to fix what's causing it, not blame the people for their reaction. What we're seeing in Chicago, in Detroit, in South Dallas is a reaction. So for those of y'all who are still just slow as fuck, black people are the crabs. The hood, minimum wage jobs, religion, racism is the barrel. The school to prison pipeline is the barrel. So no, I don't want to hear black on black crime. I want to hear what we gonna do to get the crabs out the barrel.